So here are my thoughts of how World War One affected art. Now the next slide will show something that was pre-World War One, but I think this is where artists started to express themselves a little bit more with their political views using their art. And one of the movements that really did catch my attention was the Dada movement, and they had they were basically using their art a lot to express their political views, even pre-World War One and during World War One. And one artist that really did catch my attention was Hugo Ball. And in this performance, because he basically did a performance reciting a poem called Caraway. Here he basically was reciting a poem again and using syllables that were not understandable whatsoever, and also had a very different outfit on. Very odd, very different. But in this performance, he was referring to the European powers at that time, which was 1916, and he was basically saying, "Look, guys, this is how you look. You look confusing. You look that you are not being able to handle your political problems in a rational way. So here you go." And I think it's pretty humorous, to be honest, because even now we can see how different comics, arts are being used to express your political views. It's not just, a painting. It's now also a performance. It's also a object or a collage. And also there was another artist in the same movement who used different pictures, who used different newspaper pictures expressing her political views in a collage. And another artist used a object to basically express herself or express himself, and or how he felt politically. And that's what I want to get to next. Is World War One basically gave an opportunity to these artists to express themselves in different ways, not just again in a painting, which is pretty cool in my opinion, because it gave these artists that power to be able to show how they really feel, and that we're not afraid anymore. And I do think that sometimes our government, especially in that decade, we can see how the government could shut you up just because you are opposing to their ways, to their rules, to their laws. And these artists were fearless, and I think it's good to have people like that who can show how they really feel through a performance like Hugo Ball, and or a collage like that other artist. And many artists were able to do that, and now even with photography, like showing different pictures is another way of expressing yourself. And I think that's another thing that World War One did, was it gave these artists that power. There are two questions for you guys, and one of them is, I know I want to know, how are comics being used as art to express political views? That's one. And another one will be, how or what are artists in this year or this past few years, what are they using to express their political views besides comics? I haven't seen anything. Maybe it's just because I haven't done much research in it, but one thing that I'm always seeing is comics. But I do want to know if artists are using any other type of way or objects or anything like that to express themselves. So those are two of my questions, and I hope I didn't repeat myself so much in this presentation, but thank you so much.